A string of missing persons and cattle mutilations led Foundation investigators to a sprawling, isolated tract of Wyoming farmland. At the center of the property sat an ordinary-looking farmhouse, but opening the front door didn't reveal a living room. It opened into a void of darkness, so dense it functioned as a tangible, solid object. Living inside that void were shadow entities, humanoid figures composed of the same inky blackness as the space they occupied, completely devoid of facial features. These entities attacked with surgical, impossible efficiency. They could lunge at a target and phase their limbs effortlessly through modern tactical armor, ripping out a beating heart, without leaving a single mark on the victim's body. The Foundation was forced to accept that standard-issue combat gear and heavy physical barricades offered zero protection against this threat. To contain the anomaly, the Foundation deployed Mobile Task Force Chi-13. While heavily armed, these operatives were selected primarily because every member held devout, unwavering religious beliefs. This faith was a tactical requirement. Researchers discovered the shadow creatures could only be destroyed by specially forged silver bullets, and only if the shooter was actively reciting a prayer. Despite this specialized advantage, the operation ended in disaster. 2 successive assault teams crossed the threshold of the farmhouse. The door slammed shut behind them, and they vanished without a trace. Our only record of what happened inside comes from a frantic, profanity-laced incident report recovered from the body of Agent Barkley. The report detailed a complete slaughter. If the Foundation's most elite, faith-driven operatives could be neutralized in a matter of minutes, then standard military training and containment protocols were effectively meaningless inside the house. Barkley's notes reveal a chaotic labyrinth inside the void, stitched together from standard apartment hallways, shopping mall wings, and familiar high school corridors. The squad learned the first rule of survival quickly. The shadow entities were weakened by light. To avoid drawing them out, the agents were forced to navigate the maze in near-total darkness. This map illustrates their deadly spatial paradox. Anomalous black spots acted as trapdoors, pulling victims into the void. Safe passage required avoiding light that attracted shadows, while dodging instant death darkness. Barkley's agents suffered steady attrition, continually picked off by creatures lurking in the margins. The survivors eventually found a grotesque nest at the center of the maze, built from hundreds of stolen, still-beating human hearts. As the agents watched in horror, the stolen hearts ripped open, birthing fresh shadow entities directly into the labyrinth. Witnessing this cycle of impossible biology shattered Agent Barkley's faith. He realized that surviving the labyrinth required a psychological anchor that no technical manual could provide. With their elite operatives dead, the Foundation deployed Jackson Parker, designated D-14134. Parker was a condemned inmate, selected for what researchers considered a one-way suicide mission to map the anomaly's interior. Parker had spent his life in hostile environments. Long before his incarceration, he had navigated the systemic struggles and daily realities of inner-city Detroit. He was also a battle-tested veteran who had survived multiple grueling tours in the unpredictable jungles of Vietnam. His path to the Foundation began when his combat instincts were triggered during a fatal altercation with a police officer. Parker's reaction was ruled as murder rather than self-defense, landing him on death row. Parker's survival in Detroit and Vietnam had hardened his instincts to a degree that Agent Barkley's training never reached. He arrived at the farmhouse with a battle-hardened resolve that had already been tested to its breaking point. Parker entered the void tethered to a live camera feed. Almost immediately, the monitor glitched black, the cord pulled taut, and the line violently snapped. Inside the void, Parker's military experience mapped perfectly to the labyrinth's dangers. He instinctively knew how to detect environmental booby traps and evade enemies blending into the dark. Deep within the maze, Parker discovered Agent Barkley's body. He recovered the remaining silver bullets and read the notes explaining how to destroy the nest. Parker made a conscious choice to charge directly toward the center of the labyrinth to confront the heart pile, ignoring the instinct to hide. While the Foundation's trained operatives had relied on institutional protocols, Parker relied purely on his own refusal to be a victim again. The supreme rule of this dimension is that physical reality obeys the power of human conviction. Parker weaponized an absolute belief in himself. As he unloaded the remaining bullets into the nest, his willpower materialized as a physical force tearing through the anomaly. Outside, the Foundation's readings flatlined as the anomaly vanished. The front door swung open to reveal an empty, ordinary farmhouse living room. Recovery teams found the remains of the fallen task force, but Parker was gone. He had likely escaped through one of the labyrinth's other doorways just as the dimension collapsed. In a final irony, the Foundation's most efficient killer of elite squads was destroyed by the willpower of a man society had already thrown away.